So of the nominees this morning, 2 have previously been reported by this committee and confirmed by the Senate by voice vote. Ms. Svinicki has served as a member of the Nuclear Regulatory Commission for more than 9 years, including the last 6 months as the chair. She was confirmed as a member in 2008. She was reported by this committee by voice vote in December of 2007, confirmed by the Senate by voice vote March 13, 2008, renominated to a second term in 2012, again reported successfully out of this committee by voice vote and confirmed by the Senate by voice vote 8 days later. She was designated as the NRC's chair by President Trump in January of 2017. Before joining the NRC, Ms. Svinicki served in various staff positions in the U.S. Senate, including with the Armed Services Committee, where she concentrated on defense science and technology policy and defense-related atomic energy activities. She also worked as a nuclear engineer at the Energy Department and as an energy engineer for the Wisconsin Public Service Commission. She was honored with the Woman of the Year Award by the Women's Council on Energy and Environment in 2013 and the Presidential Citation Award by the American Nuclear Society twice, 2012 and 2006. Ms. Caputo has spent more than 20 years advising Congress and industry on nuclear energy matters. She has served as a policy advisor for this committee and for the House Energy and Commerce Committee for the past 12 years. Before that, she worked for Exelon Corporation as a Congressional Affairs Manager. In 2013, the U.S. Nuclear Infrastructure Council honored her with its Meritorious Service Award. In response to Ms. Caputo's nomination, the Vice President of Clean Energy Program at Third Way, a think tank once labeled as, quote, radical centrists by the New York Times, stated of the nominee, quote, she has consistently worked with members of both sides of the aisle to promote effective nuclear regulation and is well respected across partisan lines for her expertise, professionalism, and competence. Few people are more qualified to fill this role at the NRC. Now, Mr. Wright has served as member of the chairman of the South Carolina Public Services Commission, as the president of the Southeastern Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners, and as president of the National Association of Regulatory Utility Commissioners. He is chairman emeritus of the Nuclear Waste Strategy Coalition, a group that includes state utility regulators and states attorneys general focusing on addressing nuclear waste policy matters. He has served as a member of the South Carolina House of Representatives and is a councilman and mayor of the town of Irmo, South Carolina. He's also owned and operated several different businesses and been honored with various awards. Ms. Bodine served as assistant administrator for the EPA's Office of Solid Waste and Emergency Response from 2006 to 2009. She was reported by this committee by voice vote on July 20th of 2005 and confirmed by the Senate by voice vote later that year. She previously served as staff director of the House Committee on Transportation and Infrastructure's Subcommittee on Water Resource and the Environment, and as an attorney in private practice. Today's nominees will fill critically important roles in protecting Americans' public health and safety. The Nuclear Regulatory Commission ensures that nuclear power plants, nuclear materials, and waste are handled and used safely and securely. The EPA's role, and specifically the one being discussed today, is responsible for enforcing our nation's environmental laws, including the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act, and Superfund. The need for nuclear and environmental safety protection is bipartisan. We need to move quickly on these nominations. Unless today's NRC nominees are confirmed by June 30th, the NRC will lose its quorum. This will degrade the NRC's collective ability to fulfill its mission of licensing and regulating the nation's civilian use of radioactive materials to protect public health and provide for safety and security. The committee must act to restore the NRC to a full slate of commissioners expeditiously. Similarly, the EPA does not have a Senate-confirmed assistant administrator of OECA. The committee must act to confirm this nominee to lead the OECA quickly so that our environmental laws are rigorously enforced so that polluters are held accountable. I can think of no better candidate to take on the critical task of leading the OECA and enforcing our nation's environmental laws than Susan Bodine. Past EPA officials, notably from both Republican and Democratic administrations, have praised Susan's nomination. Matthew Stanislaus, a former Obama EPA assistant administrator, said, Ms. Bodine understands both the internal side of the agency and the proper balance of enforcement, and would be a, quote, stand-up person. Ben Grumbles, a former George W. Bush assistant administrator and currently the Maryland Secretary of Environment, said, she's tough and fair and committed to public service. Elliott Laws, a former Clinton assistant administrator, said, "Bringing in someone with her knowledge of the agency and the issues facing it can only be positive." John Cruden, a former Obama Justice Department Assistant Attorney General for the Environment and Natural Resources Division, said, quote, "Susan is dedicated to the rule of law, a lawyer with great integrity, and she understands the critical importance of effective and timely enforcement." I will now turn to Ranking Member Carper for his statement.